Bienvenue, welcome once again to a brand new year, 2026. Goodness, how did we get here? And of course, this is IPSA Kind of Magic with Hamish McClare of Search Convey and our esteemed guest, friend of the show, Jackie Dyson, a consultant for IPSA and also, of course, Yorkshire Search Agency Limited. Now, today's topic is an interesting one. Which is a sector without dominant players. Goodness. Hamish, would you care to start us off?
Well, first of all, welcome to 2026, and a great reminder out there for IPSA members who are actually tuning in. If you haven't sent in and said you're attending next Monday, the 19th, for our annual conference, you will be missing out. There's some great things coming up. We've got a great year ahead of us because there's a lot happening. And this particular topic is one which, in a way, leans itself because we rather forget about it, because we can very easily come up with some big names, some big brands, if you like, working within the search industry. But rather like industry generally, it is dependent so much on the small and medium-sized businesses, the small and the medium-sized enterprises, those SMEs. And in actual fact, in the world of conveyancing is very, very much the same. We speak about factory conveyancing, we speak about corporate conveyancing, and yes, that does sort of pack some kind of a wallop, which isn't entirely beneficial to the industry generally, and certainly is not the end of or the best way of actually sort of achieving results for individuals. I mean, if I was to actually bother thinking about it, as IPSA, we have so many independent members. I believe we're over sort of 30 independent little businesses, some bigger businesses actually operating within this system. Many of those members attending the conference next week. So we have those operating as businesses. And outside of those businesses, there are a large number of, an additional number that will work on the with the ELAM platform. We will have IPSA members working on the ELAM platform, are also included with a number of other people who are working within the Property Codes Compliance Board, under their regulatory sort of details. But there are even others beyond those. And there are just hundreds of little businesses all over the place. So who should we choose and why?
It's an interesting one. I'm very pleased to say that I've been at previous conferences and I will be on Monday. So if you want to come down and have a great time, meet some excellent people and dance your feet off afterwards, please do come. Jackie, you've been associated with IPSA since its very early stages and you've seen it grow. A sector without dominant players, you'd have thought at this time one would have hoved into view above all others, but it seems fairly even. I always bang the drum for personalized searches, the fact that the people who are doing the searching within it have developed a relationship both with the area and with the land charges. And I think that, wouldn't you say that's one of the biggest differentiators here?
Well, as we're always pushing that you go with a local firm with local knowledge, and that is our mantra. You know, that's how we work. But you will even find that the large companies will actually use local knowledge for products. Like here in Huddersfield, we have a West Indian community, we have a Pakistani community, we have an Indian community. community. So, and also Polish and Ukrainian. So therefore, our local supermarkets, such as Sainsbury's, Asda, they sell products for that market. So they are going local. But if you're in an area where you haven't got those communities, you won't have those products. Like we can buy, in Sainsbury's, big bags of gram flour, big bags of rice, coconut milk, which you never saw before, that is used in a lot of Caribbean cooking. So even your big workers, your big industries, say, such as supermarkets, are catering for local. So that is what we do. We cater for local. And to be honest, I don't think a countrywide thing such as Sainsbury's in the search market would be useful, to be honest. Yeah, we have the factory conveyancers that are based all over the country. But again, we come down to that local knowledge, and local knowledge is not only knowing about the area, it's knowing how your councils work, what information you get, what extra information you can get, that you can include in your search, that is to be added on, that information. So I don't think we actually need, in the conveyance industry, big players such as Sainsbury's and Asda. No, we don't want that. We want the little local people that know their area. And also, how can I put this? It would spoil it. You don't want one particular solicitor's office in the middle of London that deals with all the conveyancing. You don't need that. You can't have that. You need that local knowledge to keep you going. Fortunately, 21 years ago, that IPSA was formed. So we can get that local knowledge from somewhere else, for someone who does a search down in, say, Shropshire. So I personally feel that having big players is not a good thing.
I think you're probably right, but what I would say, Hamish, is, and this is going to be a bit of perverse logic, so bear with me. Having factory conveyancing out there actually, in many ways, highlights the benefit that you guys bring of having that personalised connection to the area and also to land charges. It becomes stark clear very rapidly the differences between the two. You don't provide this ridiculous girth of information. You provide the curated, best, most useful information. That's in stark contrast.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it does actually show. I mean, Jackie, as well as I mean, Jackie probably knew better than I have, because she's been involved with searches for longer than I have. But when you actually sort of look and you look at the difference in the way in which certain councils will present things, and then we've got double whammies. What we do have at the moment, and this is as almost, it's not a danger, but it's something that a lot of people aren't aware of. Land registers have suggested, hey, look, we'll look after land charges, chaps, and we will be that big supermarket, and we will just do land charges. Now, absolutely great. Now, let's assume that they are really sophisticated, really good at providing us with land charges.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's no way of checking as to whether that is the most up-to-date information. And there will be experienced people about us, and Jackie would be one of those who would notice it sort of instantly. If you get a situation coming through where you get some info, oh, I've got a new development. It's been going for 2 years now, and we've got absolutely all the planning is in land charges.
Right.
Absolutely none of them are being signed off. So they don't appear in planning on its own. Now, Jackie would recognise immediately, as we would, you think, because I had this conversation earlier today on a particular development, not a big development, but how on earth can you have a development which has been going on, they've been building there for 2 years, properties have been actually sold on that particular basis, but none of those charges have been actually sort of knocked off. You know, the ones with the green doors or the pink windows or whatever habit it happened to be. I'm actually being very simple-minded on this. But there are certain conditions which have to be met, and it will vary depending on the properties being built there. That's why we have different land charges.
That's the point about your curating the data that comes off, because you wouldn't know that this extra data wasn't there if you were just going straight to the council, right?
No, I mean, let me try and pick somewhere where we don't have we don't have one of those factory conveyances based. Let's assume that you go to somewhere like Norwich. Someone in Norwich won't know that a council local to us has failed to actually get the update the land charges. The thing is, we know the council, they really are. I was saying there are ways to space. I purposely didn't sort of name them, but they were one of those councils which they asked land charges, hey, look, quick, can you help us out, please? So we're in such a bloody mess here. And 2 years later, they're still going to mess with their land charges and building regulations as well. But it's as we actually sort of said, as Jackie would have told us too, it's the local person that will pick up those kinds of differences.
Jackie, I mean, 2026, we've just had a budget of sorts, and we're settling into the fact that there's going to be new laws on the statute books to do with tenancy and all the rest of it. Do you perceive that IPSA can really rise above all this and demonstrate its mettle during this year? I think it really can.
Yeah, I think we always can, because we keep up, or the ones that are still searching. Obviously, I'm not doing any searches anymore, but they will keep up. They will research. They will look into things. They will find out. They will go that one step further than a lot of people, or majority of people, because they're small and independent. They've got to keep up with everything. They've got to be a standard above other people, because this is what we're saying. We are a standard above a lot of people because of what we will go and find out, what we will do. We will check about things. We will double check that. So, yeah, everybody will keep up with it because they know that things are changing and things are changing rapidly. And they will keep their eye on the news. They will keep their eye on the local paper, because sometimes your local paper and your local news are the best, because what's going on in your area might not be on the national news because it's too small. It's not headline grabbing, and it's too nice to be a headline, if you see what I mean. And it doesn't scaremonger. So local independent people will keep up to date. They will keep going because they've got to keep their business going. That's their livelihood. So that they will know things that, like Hamish knows what's going on around his area, and I know what's going on around mine.
Right.
So, is that, again, it's coming down to that local knowledge. And does something affect your council? Is your council doing this? A good example recently was a certain person in the government who didn't get a certain license. But then we knew that in Leeds, they were having to have a license to do certain things. Right. So it's keeping up with that local news and not your main news. But there again, sometimes it is your main news you need to be looking at. So sometimes changes are good. Sometimes changes don't help.
Hamish, it seems to me that with the rampant rise of AI and data collection, that some people are starting to believe that they can simply press a button and all the data will magically coalesce there in one place. We're not there yet by a long shot, are we?
Well, they can press the button and get a lot of information, but is it the information you want? We do not have AI which is fully effective, either with the data that we would actually sort of like, or the data which the property lawyer is actually going to like to carry on with the conveyancing. And more to the point, we're not necessarily going to be able to press the button and get all the information which is material to that property. That information which is important to the buyer of the property. And the seller knows that. You get it narrowed down. Fortunately, you have local people like as our IPSA members are, but you also have the seller of that property who knows they can identify more securely certain aspects of that particular sort of property. Now, we've got a great advantage sort of moving forward, because with flexibility, we can adopt the demands of industry as it now stands. We can actually put together all of our information with all of that, the seller's information, which gives the property lawyer so much more information to be able to work with. Now, because of that, if they are providing they are working with, if you like, a solicitor who isn't actually sort of having to press numbers all the time and rush through, they're not part of the big sort of party sort of, if you like, sort of corporate type conveyancing, where numbers are the important thing rather than the people. You can actually help that process. You can save weeks on it, and I think Jackie was responsible for some ludicrous time. I think it was actually saved somebody's mortgage for being able to offer something about 3 weeks ahead of what the other providers happen to be. So this is our great advantage. We are, if you like, unlike me, the members are very slim and they can actually sort of move with stealth because of the size of the operation. Whereas if you've got too many people, you don't have enough people to look into the cracks, look into the whole of the picture, and actually provide what is fully necessary.
You heard it here first. IPSA are, in fact, the ninjas of the search world, able to move swiftly, eagerly, and stealthily in the background to achieve your goal. We're providing a curated result rather than just everything splattered at you as if from a shotgun. Thank you so much, Hamish McClay, as ever, our Lord and Master, and Jackie Dyson from Yorkshire Search Agency. Thank you too. And to all of you listening, I've seen you come in, come out, and I hope you find this useful. If any of you are search agents or interested in being search agents within IPSA, please do check them out. Look up IPSA online and contact Heather, and she'll set you straight. I'm certain of it. Until next week, please keep your feet on the ground, your head in the clouds, and please try looking after that mental health. And all the IPSA members watching, I can see you there. I look forward to seeing you all on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.